Gather around, dear friends, and let me tell you an exciting story about a man called Elijah. He was no ordinary person. Oh no, he was a prophet of God, a messenger sent from above to deliver God's words to the people. Now imagine this. You and your family are living in a peaceful home, eating delicious food, and suddenly there's a knock at the door. Who could it be? Maybe a friend wanting to play. But what if instead it was someone like Elijah, bringing a message that could change your life forever? Well, that's exactly what happened in the town where our story begins. The people there had forgotten about God. They were ignoring his teachings and turning away from him. Instead, they were following other gods, listening to their own desires. It was as if they had closed their eyes to the light and chosen darkness. For years, this went on. People forgot about God. They worshipped idols and lived however they wanted to. But God didn't give up on them. He had a plan, a powerful plan to remind them of his greatness. And that's when Elijah appeared on their doorstep. He wasn't a mighty warrior or a famous leader, just a regular guy chosen by God for a special mission. Elijah boldly told the people, "Hey, why keep chasing two different paths? If God is God, then follow him." This was a challenge, a chance for the people to choose God over these idols. But things weren't going to be easy. There would be tests, questions, and even dangerous moments. But Elijah wasn't afraid. He knew God was with him. Our story now takes us to Mount Carmel. Imagine a vast open space under the hot sun. On one side stood an altar for a false god named Baal, and on the other, an altar for God. Around these altars were 450 false prophets of Baal and 50 prophets of God. The tension was thick in the air. Elijah stepped forward and asked for a contest. He said, "Let's ask our gods to send fire to show who is really God." The prophets of Baal shouted and danced around their altar, calling out to their God for a miracle. But no matter how hard they tried, nothing happened. Not even a tiny spark. Can you imagine their disappointment and confusion? All their shouting and dancing, all their hopes and dreams for their God to show his power, all for nothing. Then it was Elijah's turn. He walked calmly to God's altar. He dipped a piece of cloth in a jug of water, soaked the altar, and even made it wet with more water. Everyone watched, wondering if Elijah was crazy. How could he expect God to start a fire in such a drenched altar? It seemed impossible. But Elijah wasn't worried. He believed in God's power. So he folded his hands and prayed, "God, please show these people that you are truly God." Suddenly, a strong wind blew across the mountain. Then, boom, fire from heaven crashed down onto the altar. It was as if God himself was lighting a matchstick. The fire spread quickly, consuming everything in its path: the altar, the wood, the stones, even the water. It devoured everything. All the people watching couldn't believe their eyes. This was a clear sign from God, a powerful reminder that he was in control. After seeing this amazing display of God's power, everyone understood who was the true God. The people fell down and cried out, "We believe, O Lord, and we confess that you are God." Even the 450 prophets of Baal dropped to their knees and said, "You are the God of Abraham, Isaac, and Jacob." So in the end, Elijah won the battle of faith. He showed everyone that God was mighty and was worthy of their belief. But our story doesn't end there. After this big victory, something strange happened. Elijah became very scared. His heart pounded in his chest, and he felt like giving up. He wanted to run away and hide. You might wonder why. After all, he had just defeated the prophets of Baal and shown everyone God's power. But remember, Elijah was just a regular person. Yes, he was chosen by God for a special job, but that didn't make him a superhero. He still had normal feelings, doubts, fears, and weaknesses. When Elijah ran away, he went deep into the wilderness. It was like he was hiding from everyone, even from God. He sat under a bush and wished for death to take him away from his troubles. When he thought no one was around, he cried out to God and said, I've done everything you told me to, Lord. So why do I feel so tired and upset? Please take my life because I'm no better than my ancestors. I'm no better than my ancestors who worshipped idols." It was as if Elijah was having a hard time understanding why he felt so bad after doing such a good thing. He felt weak and didn't understand why he didn't feel happy after winning the big fight. Hearing this, God asked Elijah, "Why are you so sad, my servant? Remember all the things I told you to do. I gave you strength and helped you do them, right?" Elijah replied, "I've worked hard preaching your message to the people, Lord, but most of them don't believe. They don't follow your ways. In fact, many of them have even killed your prophets, and now I'm the only one left. I'm afraid because these people want to kill me too." Then God asked Elijah, "My servant, you've done everything I told you to. So pay attention to what I'm going to tell you next. I'll show you great things happening both now and in the future, things that will affect many people, kings, and important rulers." Friends, just like Elijah, sometimes we can feel sad and tired in the middle of our victories. We may have done a good deed or helped someone in need, but still feel low. It's important to remember that even heroes like Elijah have these moments. But just as God spoke to Elijah in the wilderness, he is also speaking to us today. He wants us to remember that no matter how difficult things seem, no matter how tired or lonely we feel, he is always with us. And guess what? God didn't send fire to Elijah in the wilderness. Instead, he sent a gentle breeze and whispered to him. Why? Because sometimes in our moments of tiredness and sadness, we need a soft voice that calms us, not a loud roar that frightens us. And that's the message God wants us to remember. He loves us so much that he is always there for us, ready to listen and comfort us whenever we need it. So whenever you feel sad, tired, or alone, remember, you're never too small, too tired, or too broken for God to speak. His voice is like a gentle breeze that says, "It's okay, I am with you." And that's the end of today's story. Thank you for listening. Do you think Elijah did the right thing by running away, or do you think he should have stayed and kept believing in God's power? Share your thoughts in the comments below. And don't forget to subscribe for more amazing stories. Until next time, stay curious, keep asking questions, and never stop believing in the power of stories. Thanks for watching. See you next time. Please like, share, and share this video.